This meeting will now commence at 6:04 p.m. The first order of business is roll call. May we please commence roll call?
Absolutely. So to begin, student trustee Bravo. Bravo absent. President Kumar.
Here.
Kumar present. Vice President Ahmed. Vice President Ahmed. Ahmed absent. Treasurer Niamanuri.
Present.
Niamanuri present. Chief of Staff. Sorry for that. Chairwoman Hamad.
Present.
Hamad present. Chairwoman El Adawi.
Present.
El Adawi present. Chairwoman Obire.
Present.
Obire present. Chairwoman Show.
Present.
Show present. Speaker of the House Estancheva.
Present.
Estancheva present. Representative Petineo.
Here.
Petineo present. Representative Oyefeso. Representative Oyefeso. Oyefeso absent. Representative Nehi. Representative Nehi. Nehi absent. Representative Aranda Ortiz.
Present.
Aranda Ortiz present. Representative Taylor.
Present.
Taylor present. Representative Abdel Salam.
Present.
Abdel Salam present. Representative Silva Raj.
Present.
Silva Raj present. Representative Almendras.
Present.
Almendras present. Representative B. Representative B. B absent. Representative Fernandez.
Hey, Danny, sorry to interrupt. Representative B is in the meeting, but I'm not sure why we can't hear.
Oh, okay. Then B present. Representative Fernandez.
Present.
Fernandez present. Representative Villagomez.
Present.
Villagomez present. Representative Hack.
Present.
Hack present. Representative Nguyen.
Present.
Nguyen present. Representative Bilbasigamani.
Present.
Bilbasigamani present. Representative Khan.
Present.
Khan present. Representative Malik. Representative Malik. Malik absent. Representative Henry.
Present.
Henry present. Representative Chrisman.
Present.
Chrisman present. And that concludes roll call.
Thank you. The next order of business is reading and approval of the minutes. Please take this time to read over the minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay, if not, the minutes will stand as approved. The next order of business is reading and approval of the agenda. Please take this time to read over the agenda. Are there any corrections to the agenda?
Can I make a motion to remove Representative Tega Obire from the members of the House because she is chairwoman?
Who?
Chairwoman Tega Obire. It's also
Oh,
listed as a representative.
I apologize. I will take that off. There has been a motion to remove Tega Obire from the House of Representatives as Tega is now a committee chair. Is there a second?
A second.
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 It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All that oppose, please say nay. Does anybody abstain? Okay. So Tega Obire has been removed from the House of Representatives on the agenda. Are there any other corrections to the agenda? Okay. If not, then the agenda will stand as approved. The next order of business is public comment. Is there any public comment? Okay. If there is no public comment, then we can move on to the next order of business, which is guest speakers. And since there are no guest speakers, we can move on to the next order of business, ex officio reports. May we please have the report of the advisor?
Yes, good evening. I hope everyone had a great weekend and is staying warm if you're in the Midwest with the snow coming down. I just wanted to give you all a reminder about student elections. Applications are available. So if you're interested in running for a position, feel free to go ahead and complete those applications. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right. If there are no questions, then we can move on to the next order of business, which is officer reports. May we please have the report of the president?
Yeah, hi everyone. Just again echoing what Dre said about keeping warm in the snow and everything, and I hope y'all had a great weekend. This week, like I think one of the first things that I want to mention was especially around admin moving some of our classes from sort of online back to in person. Again, kind of furthering that hybrid model of learning. One thing that we were able to get, especially that I thought was important, was an extension on that UPass deadline from the 1st down to the 8th. And that also coincides with the first day with which anyone would have an in-person class, which is also today. No, we didn't get any sort of like official announcement around this. We didn't get any sort of like email or even social media posts like from UIC. So really it's all just word of mouth right now. So please do tell your friends if you know someone who's now on campus because of the recent change, let them know that they can now get back on that UPass if they'd opted out earlier, or if they haven't opted out yet, let them know that they can opt out now. Beyond that, I had an opportunity to meet with Chairwoman Al-Adawi, as well as an opportunity to meet with Chairwoman Hamad to review some of the materials, as well as some of the planning and strategizing, around some of the Title IX initiatives. We are still working on the 2 proposals, which I had promised to bring in today, but I actually wasn't able to complete. But the first is for this behavioral crisis worker unit, again, the 24/7 program for mental health crisis counseling, de-escalation, and harm reduction. And the second is for an elected body of members of both faculty, students, and staff to sort of oversee accountability for USC's police department. And the town hall that we had planned for student issues, it was planned to be on the 10th, which I believe is like in 2 days. But that was then moved back to the 4th, just again to kind of bring in more people and to sort of account for a wider breadth of issues. We're also like continuing to analyze the student survey data, and we're hoping to have all of that actually done by the 18th, so sometime next week. then today, like we're gonna read over this proposal to bolster funding to the USC Open Textbook Initiative that I was able to put together. I had a chance to meet with Chairwoman Obire to talk about the GPA recalculation policy, and I'm really excited to sort of like look at this like letter that we're penning for the provost. We also got a chance to forward the completed draft of the honor code to Provost Poser, and she's considering it with the rest of the college deans. And a huge thanks again to Representative Quinton Crismon and Chairwoman Joe for their work on this. We also just found out that our ethnic studies proposal, the critical ethnic and gender studies that we voted on last semester, is now under review in the next couple of weeks with select committees through the UIC Academic Senate. And so we're hoping to hear back in a positive, favorable light on some of the stuff that we've done. And then, like I've been mentioning these past couple of weeks, like tomorrow is like our meeting with the chancellor and the other 5 student councils. We've got a list of things to talk about so far, everything from emergency student housing to discussion of tuition and fees, vaccination and the return to in-person learning, specifically around the different phases, because currently, of course, like with phase 1A, none of us really are like eligible unless you're like directly involved in some sort of like bio research or like some sort of like medical research / medical work. But under phase 1B, we're hoping to see a lot more essential workers being allowed to take the vaccine. And so we're hoping to see that also apply to some campus workers, people who are working on campus who are not involved in some of the more biomedical areas. So if you're like a desk worker, for example, in SE or something like that. And so I'm hoping to hear back from campus leadership on that. And then also, of course, like to hear about graduation and updates on some of the unmet USC student demands. Oh, and the last thing, of course, like just again, like another reminder about student elections, like Dre said, just echoing that again, you have, I think, until the 12th to submit any sort of materials. And then also just a reminder to get all of your stuff like reviewed by the External Planning Committee as you're sort of working on campaigning and such. Cool, and that's it. I yield for questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, if no questions, then the president's report will be filed. Next, we have the report of the vice president. Hannah, would you like to read your report?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Happy week number 5. Okay, so update on mental health coalition stuff. We're at about 232 responses when I checked on Saturday. So again, just please continue to keep pushing the survey. And then we've started compiling, or rather, I've said that we've started every time, but we've compiled information from different campus resources regarding mental health. And so our goal is to put them in kind of like a digestible way of understanding them and kind of spotlighting each of them. We did make an Instagram for the Mental Health Coalition, so we were going to try to put the infographics there. But eventually that will help us make that triage survey that I've been talking about. So that is the progress on that. And then with Lawson kind of creating a document of overall mental health recommendations that we want the university to have. Different things that we've kind of come across in our process that we make sure we want to draw their attention to, and suggestions speaking from like behalf of the student experience. So if anyone also like has anything that they want to make sure kind of gets noted, or like a suggestion that they have, feel free to reach out to me or Dahlia or Quentin, and we can kind of make sure that that's there as well. And then also with the reading week, kind of doing more research on what that looks like and anticipating the counter arguments that the provost might have, but kind of working on the working on the proposal for that. Also, you can reach out to Michelle as well. Sorry. And then things that are upcoming in the next couple of weeks are a meeting with the Disability Resource Center, specifically Sophia Hamilton, to discuss their relationship with the Counseling Center. Essentially, we want to know if the two resources talk to one another. because it would be ideal to have a disability resource center that speaks to a counseling center in case students need letters of accommodation regarding different like mental health issues, like if there's anxiety, because the DRC does do accommodation letters for that, but being able to get them to talk so that students are aware that that is something that they can reach out to. And then obviously considering some of us are graduating, we're kind of coming up with goals for the future of the Mental Health Coalition because we kind of had a strong effort to start this year and we want to keep that going because there are definitely things on behalf of administration that they have said they can't do for us this semester, but we want to kind of keep pushing for those changes that we advocated for. Like an example is for Vice Chancellor Tolliver to help us conduct focus groups for the counseling center specifically, which was supposed to happen this semester, but he said wouldn't be able to until probably next semester. Um, and then also kind of designing a mental health event or panel with the relevant administration. And so we're going to bring that idea up at our next meeting with Dean Deanna on February 11th. And then also kind of keeping up with the Student Survey Coalition to analyze their survey data about mental health from the burnout survey. And then a couple other things to add to this list is Daniela and I started kind of moving forward with the menstrual health vending machines on campus. There is an organization called Aunt Flo that essentially aims to put dispensers in different like public areas, universities, office spaces, that kind of thing. So we're supposed to meet with them next week to kind of discuss a price quote so that hopefully we don't have to spend the money individually on getting the vending machines and then also stocking them. Hopefully that's kind of a cheaper way to do that. And yeah, that is pretty much it from me. Oh, I guess one more note about like the menstrual hygiene products is that we also spoke with people at what used to formerly be the organization Period. And then also there's a new organization called Blood Buds. And so we spoke with both of them kind of to cement our plan and kind of where we want to put the vending machines and all that kind of stuff. So definitely expect a resolution regarding that once we kind of get the prices quoted out. But yes, now that's it. Any questions?
Are there any questions? Okay, if no questions, then the report of the Vice President will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Treasurer.
Hey everyone, I hope you guys are staying warm. So I received an email from the UIC library after I sent in my report, and basically they said that they're going to be purchasing the large locker when they presented in the fall semester, and that locker is going to cost $6,000, and they want USG to contribute $2,000 towards the locker, and in return for that contribution, they're going to be branding the locker like USG themed, and they're going to be they're giving us an option to like have like wording on the locker, so it could be like USG 2021 or all the members of USG, the current members. So whatever you guys like, if you have any ideas on what the locker should say, then please let me know. And then the resolution for YDSA has passed, and then the RFF has been submitted. So I'm just waiting on an update to receive so that I can confirm that they bought the tickets for the YDSA members. The resolution for LAF speaker fees will be represented today by Matthew and then voted on today. And then if you know any clubs or organizations on campus that need funding, please refer them to the Treasury Committee. We still have a lot of money in our external org fund. And then nomination signatures, please everyone help your peers. It's hard to get nomination signatures when everything's online. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, then the report of the treasurer will be filed. Next, we have the report of the speakers. So my report. So let's see. So Matthew and I worked on the strike policy throughout the week. We met a few times in order to finish the document. It is, well, according to us, it's pretty much finished. However, I did want to have a meeting with Matthew, Wasan, and Dahlia. Dahlia as the former chief of staff, to talk about how we can make it better. And it is not ready to present this week because we haven't had that meeting yet. But we expect to meet during the week and then hopefully present it either next week or the week after. Um, we are still trying to figure out how the attendance policy can be implemented into the strike policy. And if you have any ideas, any suggestions, or if you would like to see what we have come up with, let me know. I can share the file with you, or I'd love to take your ideas into consideration. So let me know. Um, and then for my meeting with Aitana, that actually happened already. I think it happened over the weekend. And we just kind of discussed, the planning process for how winter packages were sent out, shipping expenses, stuff like that, so that Aitana could send out the merch items. um, After tonight, I might be looking for a new interim speaker. I don't know yet if a spot will open up or not. However, if it does, and you are interested in being interim speaker, please do email me. Deputy chairs, unfortunately, will not be eligible for this position because members can only hold one position at a time. So if you are deputy chair, you cannot be interim speaker as well. So just, as long as you're not in any other position except representative, then you can send me an email, and then we can go from there. And then we will talk more about it during items for discussion. Then, lastly, I just wanted to say good luck to everybody who's presenting today. We have 6 applicants, and 4 of them are going to present this meeting. 2 of them are going to present next meeting. And yeah, it's just really exciting to have new applicants, and good luck to you all. And that's all from my report. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Okay, if no questions, then the speaker's report will be filed. And next, we have the report of the um, Diversity and Inclusion Committee Chair.
Everyone, I hope you're doing well. So during the last week, I met with Watson and Sarah to finalize Title IX resolution. I contacted CAN, the Campus Advocacy Network. We're meeting on Wednesday to also finalize ideas and just for them to help me out with the language and stuff. And then after that, we'll be meeting with Erin to also talk about it. Erin is the GEO. I mentioned this before, but anyway, she's a GEO co-president. And then we're still in the process of contacting the culture centers to be involved in our minorities' rights event. And the Arab Center is going to be involved. They already got back to me, so I'm waiting on the other centers to get back. Our series flyer is finalized. Thanks to Nina who worked on it. And our first event of the semester will be on this Wednesday at 5 p.m. So please, I shared the flyer on our chat and GroupMe, so please do share it with your friends. We're also finalizing the newsletter with Kayla, and if you have anything that you would want to include send it to us by Friday. Yeah. And we will be including the surveys you guys mentioned. So actually, I have a quick question for Hannah. Or Dahlia, when will you guys be closing the mental health survey?
It was 3 weeks since we opened it, so I think February end of this coming week is when we wanted to close it, but we might keep it open if we don't hit like our 500 number.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then I also met with Matthew to discuss our committee plans. You guys know something? I feel so weird like reading this report because I feel like this stuff happened a long time ago, but it only happened last week. So I don't know why I'm feeling weird right now. But anyway, so we're looking into new initiatives with the Counseling Center and the Office of Planning, Sustainability, and Project Management. So we're meeting with them next week to talk about that. Oh, and lastly, for everyone who is running as a representative, since it's your like first time experience in this experience, collecting signature and first time like online, I know it might be hard, but I just want to tell you to not be discouraged and that if you do end up getting those signatures, then you're pretty much set for the next 2 years as a member in USGU. So, like, just go out there, reach people, embrace the challenge, and I know that you guys all got this. Let me check the chat because I think there was a question. Minorities' Right, the official title of the event. So far, we have not finalized the title because we're still like reaching out to speakers. But Jocelyn, do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, we can talk about it like if we table it or something at the end, if that's cool.
Okay, yeah, we can table it to discussion. And that's it. I yield for questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, then the report of the chairwoman of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Legislative Affairs Committee chair.
Hello. That's Aitana's report, so I'm gonna try and find mine on the docs instead. So give me a sec here. All right. So I hope everybody's having a good beginning of their week. It's already week 5, which is crazy. I hope burnout isn't hitting you too bad, but you got to do what you got to do. So I've been working on the sexual assault action items. Our main thing, my committee and I's main thing that we worked on last week was just getting through the Title IX document that we received and just talking about the pros and the cons of the document and what we can do better and what we think should stay the same, stuff like that. And we also made sure to put together an agenda for our next OAE meeting. So we've got like a running doc of action items and such. So if that's something that we're still in like the reaching out phase. So we're reaching out to a lot of different orgs on campus and talking to them about how they feel about mental health and in terms of sexual assault and how their org specifically or their office specifically deals with it, and just kind of asking around and talking to people about things like that. And then in terms of Mental Health Coalition, as Henna said, the survey is still being distributed. Orgs, are just being reached out to. We're trying to continuously reach out to people as much as we can. And we also were in that meeting discussing like next semester's action items, but these are all things Hannah talked about. So moving on, there is a Illinois Board of Higher Education Equity group. I'm going to be working in that, and it's going to be touching on a lot of different things that a lot of different campuses in Illinois are working on and trying to, I guess, make sure that they're functioning a little bit better than they are already and listening to our complaints and concerns. So we still haven't had our first meeting, so I'm not necessarily 100% sure about how they're going to be running the meetings and how discussions will be taking place, but I will keep you guys updated. As for our committee meeting, this was, we did a quick little recap of the week for like 10-15 minutes, and then we really just worked on the long document, as I discussed before, and then just action item creation for Title IX and other orgs on campus and outreach and such. So yeah, that was my report for the past week. As Anshu said, and as I think Bayan said, we're all kind of running and we're all trying to do our best to get signatures, but it's a really difficult time to have to do so. So if you're, in this call and haven't yet nominated everybody that you can on that ballot, just kind of gone down the list, I would definitely suggest doing so. USG is a really great way to be able to kind of get signatures and talk to other people that are like-minded. So yeah, definitely give Bayan and Anshu a nomination if you're so inclined, myself a nomination, and then all the other reps. Misty for VP. I don't know who else is running for VP, but Misty's the big one for me. So with that being said, I yield for questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, then the report of the chairwoman of the Legislative Affairs Committee will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Public Relations Committee Chair.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to week 5. We're 31.25% done with the semester. I calculated. Okay. All right, to start my report, PRC has done the usual things, which is manage social media and manage the website. I've also uploaded on the YouTube channel and recovered meetings number 5 and number 10 from the fall semester. During our PRC committee meeting on Friday, we talked about the theme for this week and next week, which is like Valentine's, because it's February 14th in that area. And then we talked about the merch initiative, and then I've assigned tasks to my members, as you can see. So what I have in progress is the promotional items initiative. I've written out the timeline. Wasan, could you please scroll a bit down? Thank you so much. So here's the timeline that I planned and anticipate to finish this project. February 8th was distribute the final forms, but we came across some difficulties, and my committee and I will be having a meeting tonight to talk about the obstacles that we're facing, and then hopefully the forms will be distributed by tomorrow. And then next week, so the deadlines of the forms will be before Friday, and then the first read of the resolution will be by next Monday, and then hopefully the resolution will be finalized by next Monday. So if the resolution passes, then we'll order the items, and then after that, I will be organizing a meetup with the volunteers who said yes on the previous form, so they can help me package and ship the items. We've already collected the addresses, so we don't really have to worry about that. The anticipated end of this project is around mid to late March. And as for any questions, if you are wondering who will pay for this, for the items, it's USG. Where will be the items stored? I've talked about it. And I'm thinking about the USG office, but I think it'd be easier to do it at my house. And then how will you get the items to the members? By shipping them via USPS or FedEx. And I talked to Daisy about it. So I'd like to open the floor and ask for representatives to have any questions that they might have. Cool. Then that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Aitana. Okay, with that, the report of the chairwoman of the Public Relations Committee will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Student Affairs Committee Chair.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and I hope you had a good 4th week of school. We had our first committee meeting on Friday where we discussed the goals and priorities for the semester. One of the major issues we discussed was racial bias and insensitivity at UIC, and Jocelyn is working with the Office of Equity to create an action plan to provide some realistic solutions to promote racial inclusion and awareness at UIC. Our next meeting is on Friday the 19th at 4 p.m. So if you'd like to join our meeting, send me an email and I'll send you a calendar invite. I met with Wasan to talk about drafting the formal draft to the provost regarding the GPA recalculation policy at UIC, and I'm hoping to have that document ready by Friday. Jean, the Director of Career Services at UIC, provided a great list of on-campus internships and research projects. I'm hoping to have all these compiled together, and I'm trying to deduce the best way to disseminate this information to the student body, hopefully by next Monday, because many of the deadlines are fast approaching for the internships. And best of luck to everyone running for any position in the upcoming elections. And that's my report. I yield for questions.
Are there any questions?
Actually, I have a question. So, what's the plan of distributing or like letting the students know about the internship opportunities?
Yeah, so that's what I'm really trying to think about. I was thinking about just going through the academic advisors to just send out this sheet through listservs, but I'm not sure how many students actually read the emails from advisors because I know my advisor personally sends out like 10 emails a day. So that's like the big thing I'm thinking about. I was thinking maybe Bonfire, but it's also the same issue. How many people do go and read Bonfire articles? So I'm very much open to ideas on how to spread this out to students because I think for most of the internships, the deadlines are the first week in March. So I need to get this out as soon as possible.
Yeah, and because I'm having like the same issue with the newsletter, right? I mean, like how many people are reading the emails, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'll think and I'll share ideas if I
that
have
would be
with you.
great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. If no questions, then the report of the chairwoman of the Student Affairs Committee will be filed. Next, we have the report of the Campus Life Committee chair.
Hello, everyone. I hope you had a great week. So my first item is the Wellness Center Exam Prep Student Panel that I talked a little bit about last week. So we're still looking for panelists, around 3 or 4 students, and both representatives and e-board are both welcome to be panelists, to talk a little bit about study habits and answer student questions at the event. And it's gonna be at March or during March or early April, um, at around those times. And I really encourage everyone to consider like reaching out to me through email or text or anything, if you're interested at all in being a panelist. It's really no pressure. It's like a lot of fun. Um, Next item, we had a meeting with the Mental Health Coalition. Sorry. And I'm currently putting out feelers for maybe not this semester, but like in the future for any engineering or computer science students who would be interested in working with us to create an interactive survey, maybe as a capstone project for honors college or something like that. So if you know anyone who would be interested, or if you're interested, reach out to me. And also, we're still working on the counseling center event with Dean Deanna and Joe Hermes. Ideally, it would be USG sponsored in a town hall or panel format. And the objective for this event is to gain transparency and clarity on kind of like what the counseling center has been doing, like with their money, activities, programs, etc. And we'll be presenting the idea to Dean Deanna at the next meeting. And if we get the okay to do that, then we will go forward with it. Lastly, we've been working on the USC Honor Code, which was drafted by Quinn. Yay! And we have a meeting later this week to discuss some of its like some of the implementation and expectations that'll come with getting this passed and presenting it to like the provost. And that concludes my report. I yield for questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, if no questions, then the report of the chairwoman of the Campus Life Committee will be filed. Um, the next order of business is cabinet nomination. So some of you may know that unfortunately our former chief of staff, Timothy, has been removed from his position because of attendance issues. And Wasan will be nominating somebody else today, and then they would have to accept or deny the nomination. If they accept it, they would have to give a speech, and then here's how things would go. Okay, they would have to accept the nomination, give a speech, then move to the breakout room. In the meantime, we discuss their application and then vote on it. And after the vote, they would have to give the oath, and they would be the new chief of staff. So, Wasan, would you like to present your nomination?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'd like to nominate Representative Matthew Almendras for the position of Chief of Staff for the remainder of this semester.
Matthew, do you accept or deny the nomination?
I accept.
Okay, awesome. So, would you like to present your speech?
Yes. So hello everyone. It's a great honor and blessing to be nominated as the next chief of staff. This role will be a natural fit for me because I already do the work that the chief of staff does with Illinois PERG, being a coordinator for one of our campaigns. And when I heard the news that President Kumar nominated me, I immediately noticed the USG word cloud that we representatives created at the USG social last year. And four words stood out to me because they were the largest. And I believe these words are the most important values a USG representative holds. The first is Chicago. We students, we are students of the University of Illinois at Chicago, one of the largest and most important cities in the nation. So just being students of this university is something we all should be proud of. Second is leadership. As members of student government, we already have leadership in ourselves, and we should lead by example and be the example of what a UIC student should be. Third is outreach. We must outreach to the student body and listen to their concerns and propositions. Then we must outreach to the administration to communicate these concerns and seek solutions. Fourth is responsibility. We have a great responsibility in that we are just under 40 students in this organization, yet we have the opportunity to impact the lives of thousands of people in this university. How much of impact, though, we have is dependent on how hard we work and how dedicated we are to help and serve our community. So if the House accepts me as the next Chief of Staff, I will ensure that we, as the undergraduate student government, will achieve our goals and better our UIC community. I'll do this by meeting diligently with each cabinet member frequently and continue my work on textbook affordability and creating an inclusive, centralized platform for students. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Matthew? Okay, if no questions, Matthew, I'm gonna send you off to a breakout room. And then, because this is internal election and it's only supposed to have, wait, hold on. Okay, welcome back from the main from the breakout rooms, everybody. So we have our votes in. Wasan, would you like to announce the results?
Yeah, with 17 votes in favor, we had a unanimous vote for Matthew Almendras to be our next Chief of Staff. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Matthew.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so in order to officially become Chief of Staff, you would have to take the USG oath. So if you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the students of the University of Illinois at Chicago,
the students of the University of Illinois at Chicago,
that I will serve students
that I will serve students
faithfully and truthfully,
faithfully and truthfully,
and that I will uphold, protect, and preserve
that I will hold, protect, and preserve
the Constitution and standing rules
the Constitution and standing rules
of the undergraduate student government.
of the undergraduate student government.
Congratulations, you are officially our new Chief of Staff. Woo! On this note, if you guys are interested in becoming interim speaker, send me an email. Um, but yeah, congratulations. This is really exciting. Um, thank you everybody for voting, for participating in discussion. Matthew, just so you know, everybody loves you. That was an anonymous vote. So yeah, we're really excited to see all the stuff you're gonna accomplish as a new chief of staff. Okay, so then we can move on to the next order of business, which is election of new representatives. So this is going to go in a similar manner. And let's see, all of the applicants are going to be sent to a breakout room with Matthew as a new chief of staff. And we're going to pull you out one by one to give your speech and to answer questions. And then after you give your speech, you would go back to the breakout room, and you know, we would vote on your application, and everybody's, after everybody has gone, we would vote on everybody's application, and then we would have the results instantly. And for those of you that get accepted or voted in, you would also take the oath the same way that Matthew did, and then you would be officially representatives starting tonight. Are there any questions? Okay. All right. So let me assign you guys to a room, and then I'm gonna open the rooms. Mm. Okay, and I'm gonna send you guys a message, like a broadcast message, whenever it's your time to leave the breakout room. You will just have to click on leave breakout room, and then you would be taken back to the main room. Okay. All right, I'm gonna open the rooms, and we'll see you soon. Okay. All right, so for all of you that are left here, yes, Satana, please pause. Thank you. And just let me close the rooms and then bring everybody back.
See, just sorry, point of information. Could you just like let them back in and let them know that they can stay if they want to, just hang
Yes,
out. They
I
just
will.
can't
Yep,
vote or anything.
thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, welcome back, everybody. So the representatives voted to vote on your application at the next meeting because they need more time to really think about all of your applications. At this point, we will be moving on with the next item on the agenda. If you guys want, you're welcome to stay for, you know, however long you would like for the rest of the meeting, or you're also welcome to leave if you would like. And you know, yeah. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? Okay. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for your applications. We were really happy to see what you guys talked about and potentially vote you in into USG next week. But for now, let's move on to the next order of business, which is old business. First, we have Resolution 2021-S2-100. So, Matt, if you would like to read over it or quickly present it.
Yeah, so this is a resolution for Laugh at UIC's event funding. So the resolution is sponsored by me, Matt Salvaraj, co-sponsored by Treasurer Unshu, Deputy Treasurer Mohammed Haq, and Representative Megan B. Whereas Laugh at UIC is a student organization that is dedicated to promoting student well-being and mental health through the patience of laughter yoga, and whereas their work brings together people of different disciplines, backgrounds, and educational experiences on our college campus, alleviates stress and improves overall quality of life, providing a host of psychological and physiological benefits, and whereas Laugh will be holding their Premier Care Week event on March 7th, 2021, with guest speaker Dr. Vedant Kataria, where they need $500 for the funding for speaker expenses. And let it be resolved that the undergraduate student government of the University of Illinois at Chicago will provide $500 of funding needed by LAF in order to make their event as successful as possible. Let it further be resolved that this organization stands to better the undergraduate experience of all students on campus, and by supporting this organization, that goal will be met. I yield for questions.
All right, so we'll be voting on this resolution tonight. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Any concerns about this resolution?
I have a question for Matt. Would you want PRC to promote this organization as the days come by near?
I can ask them if they need help with promotional material. I'm not personally affiliated with them. They're just requested funding through the Treasury Department committee.
Okay.
I will let you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sarah, to answer your question, I think most of the things that USG pays for would technically be considered a partnership with USG, and I think those things we tend to advertise. Um,
Oh, I see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other comments or questions regarding this resolution before we vote on it? Okay, so we'll move on to voting on this resolution. All those in favor of Resolution 2021-S2-100, please say aye.
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 All that opposed, please say nay. Does anybody abstain? Okay, the ayes have it. This resolution has passed. The next order of business is new business. And first we have Resolution 2021-S3-1100. Wasan, would you like to present this?
Yeah, thanks, Daisy. This resolution 2021-S3-1100 is called Supplemental Funding for the Open Textbook Initiative. And I'm the chief sponsor on it. We're going to be reading it today as well as next week. And it reads, whereas textbooks are one of the largest out-of-pocket costs for college students and can serve as a barrier to success for those who struggle to afford required materials, the price of college textbooks has increased 1,000% over the past 40 years. In a study by the University of North Dakota, over half of survey respondents skipped buying an access code or other course materials, indicating they cannot afford to complete their homework. Open textbooks allow students to use quality materials and enroll in courses for no cost on top of tuition. Then, whereas at UIC, the Open Textbook Faculty Incentive Program provides awards to faculty members who demonstrate a commitment and plan to using open textbooks and other open source educational materials. In academic year 2020, this initiative awarded grants to 6 professors from a pool of $20,000. These professors taught over 750 students and saved students an estimated $154,000 in textbook costs. Applicants can submit proposals at one of 3 tiers. Tier 1, a $500 to $1,000 grant to adopt existing open course textbooks. Tier 2, a $2,000 grant for modifying open textbooks or educational materials to fit their existing courses. Tier 3, a $6,000 grant to create new openly licensed textbooks. Faculty work closely with the UIC Library OER, the Open Education Resources, throughout the process of adopting open textbooks and education resources. Then, let it be resolved that USG offers $10,000 in funding to support the UIC Open Textbook Faculty Incentive Program. We intend for these funds to provide additional grants to faculty through the current Open Textbook Faculty Incentive Program and leave the funds at the discretion of librarian Dr. Janet Swacheno.
Thank you. All right, so I would like to open up the floor for discussion. Does anybody have any comments or questions regarding this resolution, which I believe we will vote on next week?
I do have a question. How will this program be, I guess, to professors?
Sorry, I think you cut out like a little bit in the middle there. Could you say that one more time?
Yes, sorry. So how would this program be advertised to the professors and departments?
Got it. Got it. Yeah, thanks. So they email this out every year, multiple times, especially as they kind of move on to the application season, to the entire faculty listserv. So it's emailed to all the professors on campus, and they're aware of it as well because it's been in existence for about 4 years now.
Thank
Any
you.
other comments or questions?
I have a question. So since this is for supporting the UIC open textbook faculty, like, is it pretty much open to all faculty or all professors, or is this going to be specifically for, like, let's say, like for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences or the College of Engineering? Like, is there a, like, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So it's for all faculty, and they try to do a very good job of diversifying the departments. Like, I think last year out of the 6 professors, no one was from the same college, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Thank you. Other comments or questions?
Could I pitch in?
So unfortunately, this is only for current representatives and USG members. Sorry about that.
No problem. I get it.
But as always, like, I'm happy to speak to anyone over email or anywhere outside of these meetings as well.
And then this resolution will also be presented next week. So if you guys are, if you guys become representatives by then, you will be able to voice your concerns. Sorry about that. As representatives. And then any last comments or questions? Okay. If anything else pops up, you guys can definitely ask next week. But for now, we can move on to the next order of business, which is items for discussion. First item for discussion, real quick, is new interim speaker. Matthew has gotten a new position. Matthew has been promoted to chief of staff. So I don't have an interim speaker anymore. And if you guys would like to be considered as interim speaker, please send me an email sometime this week. There isn't like a definite deadline, but please do send me an email. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you are a deputy chair or hold a different position within USG, you are unable to apply because you can only have one position at a time. However, if you are just a representative with no other title, please do send me an email if you're interested. Um, and yeah, I think that's all regarding this item for discussion. Does anybody else have any other items for discussion?
Just a point of information, I have an announcement, but it's basically also an item for discussion. I'd just like to move to add that as an item for discussion, if that's okay.
You don't need to add it. You can just talk about it.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, so we are going to be working with the Faculty Senate and the Graduate Student Council on a committee to essentially identify some of the things that we want to continue on as we transition from online learning to in-person learning. And so essentially some of the lessons that we've learned through the pandemic, some of the pros, some of the cons, basically what we want to see in the future, right? Do we want to go back to having all of our classes in person? Do we want to do some other sort of form of things like that? They're looking to add, from what I understood, just one person from USG, but I don't know, it might be more than that. But very specifically, they're looking to add somebody who is not graduating next year. I personally am graduating in May, so they want someone who's not graduating this May, basically. So if you are interested in something like this, please do reach out to me, and I'm happy to forward your name. I think it's a super interesting opportunity.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
Thank you for letting us know about this, but do you know who's going to lead the committee?
There are several people from the faculty side, and I think the chair is actually one of the librarians, but I'm not 100% sure. And I also don't know how many people that they're willing to take from USG, but I know like Dean of Students is involved and like Vice Chancellor Tolliver and a bunch of other folks. So just wanted to point that out there in case any of y'all are interested and are not graduating in May 2021.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Any other items for discussion? All right, if there are no items for discussion, we can move on to the next order of business, announcements. Does anybody have any announcements they would like to mention?
I have an announcement. So the petition for the Illinois per textbook affordability petition is still running. So I'm gonna again post it in the chat. Okay. So yeah, if you haven't filled it out, please fill it out. Please share with your friends as well. We would like to have as many respondents to this petition as we can.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Thanks for sticking out to us with this 3-hour meeting. Thank you to our advisors as well, Dre and Keith. Keith just had a kid who he named after me. Just kidding, he didn't name the kid after me, but he had a kid, and so thank you for staying here as well.
That's too funny. Okay, all right. Any other announcements before we close down? Okay.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, awesome. If there are no more announcements, then we can move on to the next order of business, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 All that opposed, please say nay. Does anybody abstain? No? Okay, awesome. The ayes have it. The meeting is now adjourned at 9 p.m.